Welcome to the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the 13th running of the American 700. We have a lot to get through in not a very quick time. There's a couple of big news items that are on the agenda. As you can see, it is a day race for the first time since the fourth running of the American 700 was a day race in Indianapolis. However, the start time has actually been moved up to 12:15 from 1 o'clock because of impending rain coming in. The weather doesn't look the greatest coming into the weekends, or coming into this race, and it's looking like we're racing to halfway. We might not see the full 700 miles today, or if the rain gets here faster, we might be in a delay formation. So with that being said, 50 points is awarded to the winner, and we are actually going to do our starting grid right now. We're not going to have time for pre-race interviews simply because of the weather situation. Starting from 42nd position on the grid is Marion Shawrot. Shawrot was beneficiary of getting in via all full-time cars being locked in. And on her inside is the three-time ARCSOA Elite Series champion Kenny Might. He started on the front row last year, starting on the back row this year. He has complained consistently about how that car has been absolutely garbage. Benjamin Dover is going to be starting P40th in the Action Terra car. Great to see Action Terra on the grid, and on the inside of that you have Talia Wallish. Wallish was under a lot of scrutiny for causing an incident in qualifying, and Wallish actually received a strike for that. On the outside of the next row up, you have Zolt Dormitory. Dormitory having a another beneficiary of cars making it via the being locked in. However, Dormitory actually would have made it in on speed. And Stanton Thaver on the inside in car 900. That car was attempted by John Cittadino last year. Didn't make the race then, and it has made the race this time. James Shelley is starting another American 700. He is the 10th running of the American 700 winner. No, might be 11th. Well, whatever. He won the American 700 in the past and will be a threat today if he can get up the order in the Ford Taurus. And on his inside, you have Ryan Griffin, who's starting pretty far back, actually, despite having a pretty strong car. His qualifying, he never got the drafts lined up, and he will be starting 35th, I believe. Starting 34th, we have Zachary Fitzwater in the 59 Pertec Team Australia car. Bracketed, his teammate didn't make the race. And on his inside, you have Aiden Shepard in the DNC Mercedes. Great to see Aiden Shepard on the grid. He'll be a threat later on. We hear that is a race setup car. Bobby Jones, his teammate, Shepard's teammate, is starting in the position directly diagonal to him, a row up. Yeah, the California native in his home race. Bobby Jones is expected to do quite well here. And on his inside, you have Vince Freeze, the Mexico winner, the surprise Mexico winner in the Volkswagen Passat for Team Retta Davis. On the outside of the next row, you have, on the whole next row, you have the two KR Subarus, Christian Vanderpesch and Cody Lamas. Lamas and Vanderpesch have not had the season they've wanted. They're looking to turn their luck around here at the American 700. Chase Dunbar is starting, I believe, P28, I want to say. Dunbar, surprisingly, almost made the second segment, and Jack Halleck did make the second segment in the other Pertec Team Australia. Remember, their teammate, Sirasali Barak, they did not make the race. On the next row, you have Chris Dodd. Kind of surprising seeing him so far back, because he normally qualifies quite well at the American 700. And on the inside of Dodd, you have Vincent Allen in the third, or actually in the fourth, Silver Speed car. That was the car that nearly won the American 700 last year with Nick Pericles, so that car is going to be one to watch. Nick Pericles, in a brand new car, will be starting right in front of him. Pericles is going to be pretty strong, I think, today. He nearly won the American 700 last year, and I think can seriously be a threat today. And on his inside, you have Zayden Davidson in the the second highest qualifying DNC car. DNC didn't qualify as well as they would have liked, with the main exception of the remaining car, William Brock, who's starting way up the grid. We'll get to him in a little bit. Noah Hart massively outqualifies his teammate, but still wasn't too impressed with his qualifying run in his final American 700 start, or we believe his final American 700 start. And on his inside, you have Kyle Bisceglia, the Ohioan, going to do a great job, I think, for the Great Lakes Motorsports team. John Arndt will be starting on the next position up. Arndt is going to be very quick, I think, today in the Silver Speed car, actually fighting for a championship. And on his inside, you have DJ Curtis in the CJ Racing car. CJ Racing has been probably the best qualifying team so far of the weekend. CJ Racing has thoroughly dominated. Them and Silver Speed have thoroughly dominated these sessions, or practice sessions this week. Ike Durbin is driving the car he won the American 700 with last year, the reigning champion Ike Durbin. Going to be a serious threat, I believe, today. And on his inside, you have Sean Angel in the 81. The Canadian, the Mad Canadian, will do his best to win this race for BFM. Vance Caldwell starting P16 in car number 16. A surprise qualifier this high up the grid. I don't think anybody thought Caldwell would be this high up the grid. And on the inside, you have Moshe Gurian, the second Israeli driver on the grid, driving the Team Nokia Finland 73 car, the second of three we will see on the starting grid. Becca Moss has had a miserable start to the season, but is starting 14th. So Becca Moss is going to be a serious one to watch in this race, because she's driving with her. She has her ride on the line, and she's going to need to have a good race today. And on her inside in 13th, we have Alex Allen, the last car that made it through to Q3, or the third qualifying segment. Johan Arndt and Sean Perkins, the last two one-off cars, are starting P12 and 11. Sean Perkins, the three-time American 700 champion, will be in his final American 700 start today. Jake Baskinger will be starting P10. This is now the top 10, obviously. Baskinger and Ray Hall will be in 10th and 9th. Great to see both these drivers doing well today. Here's Eddie Shumpadkar and Matty Myatt going to be fighting in P8 and 7. Grayson Ace Vito and Eric Monaco in the Team Reddit Davis car. Great to see all four Reddit Davis cars make this race. Obviously, three of them were locked in. However, 3 out of 4 made Q2, or made Q3, so that would be Johan Arndt, Roman Rahal, and Johan Arndt, Roman Rahal, and Eric Monaco. Trek Tauger will be starting in, I believe that's 5th position, or I believe that might be 4th position. Yes, it is. And Scott Roush will be starting 3rd for CJ Racing in the Camaro. And on the front row, you have William Brock in the DNC Mercedes and Dornan Bouchard on pole. He took 10 bonus points for qualifying on pole. He will be starting from the front row in 1st position with car 88 for CJ Racing. Well, since the start of the race has been bumped up by 50 minutes, let's get going. All 42 cars are out there. They have all started, I believe. Yes, they have. Now, the procedures are clear. If you make it to halfway, the race is official in the American 700. So we got to make it to lap 175. So if they make it to 175 before the rain hits, which is coming in, it is some pretty serious rain. I don't think we're even going to hit that. The race is official. So if you get to the 350 mile mark, you're done. However, if you don't, and the race needs to be restarted, all cars on the lead lap and all cars running still can get, or that aren't like more than 3 laps down, can restart the race. They'll get their laps back with cosmetic damage repair. But we'll get to that when we get there. Green flag is out for the 13th American 700, and away we go. Bouchard leads with Brock in second. Great start by Bouchard and Roush, that is. It looks like CJ Racing wants to take over an early start to this season, or to this race, and really start dominating. Tires are a major factor in this race. Will be a major factor in this race. It's not going to be a traditional American 700 where it's all a big pack race, we think. Tires are going to be huge in this one, as you've got to watch your tire conservation. Here comes Ace Vito down low, looking for the lead of this one, or looking for second rather, as Dornan Bouchard will lead the first lap. One of 2 Canadians on the grid. Bouchard leads with Roush second, Ace Vito third. The Florida native is going to start working his way up the order with his teammate, Trek Tauger. And Tauger has been strong in final practice. However, we are going to see what Tauger is going to do in car 31 as he slots behind the 25 car. Kenny Myatt now is starting to work his way through the field pretty quickly by the end of lap 3. He's already gained a few spots here. He has a faster car. Oh, problems for DJ Curtis. He's the first car to have a problem in this race. DJ Curtis, a former American 700 champion when they raced at a Texas Motor Speedway. He was the winner of the 5th American 700. Is going to have a tire going down, and that's not going to be good for him. That's not going to be good for him. Meanwhile, up front still, everybody's mainly getting, it's been a pretty orderly start to this American 700. Brock fell back a couple spots, but he seems to have gotten his footing under him. The big mover's been Grayson Ace Vito. Ace Vito's looking to possibly take over the lead of this race. He looks faster than Bouchard. I would watch Ace Vito as this race continues onward. Eric Monaco now is starting to work his way through the field. Well, he's mainly holding position, actually. He actually lost a spot, but he is looking pretty quick with that handling. These Reddit Davis cars we're expecting to be pretty quick when the tires start falling off. The Reddit Davis cars have lessened that effect, and they've actually done some pretty crafty pit strategy that really helps them out. Curtis would rejoin the race up yet. I believe he is going on 2 laps down. He will be 2 laps down, I believe, once the leaders catch him. Remember, I think you can go 2 laps down and still get your laps back. Beyond that, you don't. I apologize if I made a mistake. It's 2 laps you can get back. You're given back free during a rain delay. But remember, you have to actually have your car run through tech again too. So some cars that are deemed dangerous might not be able to rerun if, in fact, we don't get to the lap 175 mark before the rain hits. One of the biggest movers since the start of the race has been John Art. He's gone from 18th up to 13th in the 9 laps that we've run. Art has been kind of slowly marching his way through the field. Another driver that's moved up a bit is Vincent Allen. And the biggest mover has been, I believe, car number 9 of Myatt. He's all the way up to 31st position, so he's gained 10 positions since the start of the race. Like I said, it's a very different American 700 now that we have some of these, it's more of a tire conservation race rather than anything else. However, it seems like everybody's really taking this quite calmly because of, I don't think a lot of people are thinking we're going to make it to 175 before the rain gets here, and that the race is going to restart some other time. So I'm thinking that's what they're all doing, is they're just all going to be in cruise control until the rain hits, because the rain's only about an hour out, and I don't think you're going to get to 175 by then. Ike Durbin's also a big mover through the field. He is up to 14th position, looking pretty quick, and like I said, when these tires start falling off a bit here, I would expect somebody like Ike Durbin to be able to really manage his tires well to the point where he can hopefully get into this race, really, or really make himself a real threat. Basically, everybody is still a realistic threat in this race. Dornan Bouchard has led since the green. However, we're starting to see Scott Roush and Grayson Ace Vito really close in on Bouchard here. And it looks like we got some cars maybe already pitting, because there was a break in the pack I saw between Pericles and I believe that's Alex Allen. There was a break in the pack that's between 20th and 21st. However, like I said, pack racing and drafting is really not that much of an issue anymore. With just the sheer tire fall off, they're already it's only 14 laps in and they've already lost 2 seconds. So it just shows kind of what the tire wear is here and just the sheer amount of difference. Now, the big issue is going to be when you got some cars on brand new tires that are 2 seconds faster than everybody else, and you got a bunch of cars on older tires. That's going to be where your fun's going to be, and that's where a lot of trouble can be. Scott Roush has gotten by Grayson Ace Vito and is looking to set up his teammate for the lead. It's just going to be one of those, Ace Vito's going to try and make a comeback on him here. However, I'm thinking they're going to be nearing pit stops pretty soon. like I said, the tire fall-off's just so much here that they've even increased the fuel tanks this season to actually get them to go longer than 19 laps on a tank of fuel, or 20 laps in the American 700. However, here comes Ace Vito down low, and I don't know, that move might actually work out for Ace Vito. He got Roush back again, but here comes the 11. Actually, to be honest with you, this is a lot more of a pack race than I thought it would be. They're actually staying closer together than I really thought was going to be the case. However, this race is going to be very interesting to see how these... Oh, look at Johan Arndt. Remember how I said the Reddit Davis cars are going to be good on older tires? Well, right here is showing it. Look at Johan Arndt just start picking off these other cars here just simply because of how much better the Reddit Davis cars are on tire. Remember, that is the lightest car on the grid by quite some margin. It's only got a V4 in it. But now it looks like everybody's going to start pitting. Oh, Tauger, watch out there. He nearly cut off the 62. Or he did cut off the 62 coming out of the pits. Looks like Bouchard stayed out in the lead. However, everybody else is rolling down pit road here for our first pit stop. So 17 laps is all you're going to get on a tire strategy. So Bouchard stayed out along with Rahal and Monaco. However, just by common sense, you're going to kind of feel that getting on new tires might benefit you initially. So I think Bouchard's actually going to lose the lead if he doesn't pit, like maybe this time, and I think he might still lose the lead. And everybody else should be bringing it down pit road right here. Here comes Griffin. Myatt gained a bunch of spots there. And Shepard's coming on as well. Dunbar, Dover. Halleck came in a lap early, keep in mind. So Halleck's going to gain a bunch of spots here. By pitting a lap early, Jack Halleck went from about 28th on the grid, and he's battling right now with, actually he's coming out with Ace Vito. So he gained, by pitting early, about 20 spots. So that just shows, well, not maybe, yeah, about 20 spots he gained just by pitting early. So Halleck just shows what, but remember, he's going to fall off quicker. He's in 23rd, however, they've still got to get by a couple of cars here. Maybe not 20 spots, maybe 15 would be a better alternative. Oh, wow, 3 wide racing here between, well, it was 3 wide for a brief minute there, between Angel, Brock, and Tauger there. And actually, this is where things are going to be pretty interesting as you're coming up to some cars that you're passing that are slow. However, there's Eric Monaco right there coming out, and it just shows how much he could fall off here. He's battling back with, he's in PD12, so he was up in 6th, so he lost 6 spots from that. The new leader of the race, however, is the one of Madeline Myatt after pit stop cycles with Scott Roush. She had a really quick pit stop and has taken over the lead of the race over Roush, Ike Durbin, and Johan Arndt gained a bunch as well with Vincent Allen. Dornan Bouchard fell down to 6th. That just shows kind of what pitting late might do. However, Bouchard will be better later into the run. DJ Curtis briefly got back on the lead lap, however, he is coming back down pit road. Just kind of issues for DJ Curtis with that tire issue. It might end up playing out to his benefit if he catches a caution like now, but the way they're racing, I don't think there's going to be a caution for a while. One of the favorites all weekend has been Eddie Shimpadkar. However, he would have a tire go down and have to bring it down pit road, so Padkar is going to lose a couple laps as well, or 1 lap in the process as well, so he is going to have to play this race incredibly smart. Ike Durbin now has taken over 2nd position away from Scott Roush, and Durbin now is going to start closing in, I believe, on the 1 car in the lead, as this is just kind of what you're going to see in this early part here. It's just this tire strategy game really heat up here. And like I said, it's not a traditional American 700 where it's a giant pack race where we might see a big one. We've always talked about the big one here, and realistically, with how spread out they are, we might not see the big one, actually. And last year we didn't see one either, and that was probably the most packed American 700 of all time, and we didn't see one. So I'm interested to see what what Myatt's going to do with Durbin and Roush. There's a big gap back to Johan Arndt in 4th, and even a bigger gap back to 5th in the rest of the pack. William Brock, since the start of the race, has had a slow, steady tumble down the field. However, this is where we might start seeing some of these guys. Well, like I said, in this early part of the race, it really doesn't matter as long as you make it toward the end. It's been a very calm start to this race. However, it's been intriguing to see what tire strategies have been playing out. Vince Freeze, though, has been a major player in this part of the race. He's jumped from, I believe, around 30th on the grid up to 13th since the start of it. So, tire strategy plus a good handling car. Those Reddit Davis Volvos could be a threat to win this race, actually. Despite them not having a lot of power, this track really isn't power anymore. It's all about just how well you can keep your car underneath you here with the track aging, with the tire compound that Cooper Tires has brought. This is all handling-based track now. These guys, however, are not having the best American 700 right now. Marian Charrot, Chase Dunbar, Result Dormitory, the two KR Subarus, and, well, Wallish as well is back there. So the normal players toward the back. Stan Faber hasn't done a whole lot today. Dover struggling. Nick Pericles is the big struggler here. That surprised me that Pericles is so far down the order in 32nd position. That's a big shock to me, to be honest. Surprisingly, though, by lap 30, by lap 27, no cars have fallen out of the race, so I guess we're on a pretty good stretch here. Trek Tauger is a man on a move as he passes Johan Arndt for 4th position now. He is going to start reeling in, I believe, the top three to try and steal 3rd, 2nd, and 1st away. These three have all been pretty well battling with each other. They all know that this isn't the point of the race where you've got to really hammer at each other. I think everybody is just taking it really calm this bit. However, if we get close to that lap 175 mark by the time the rain gets here, you're going to see the anxiety of these drivers really kick up. However, right now, I don't think anybody thinks we're going to get there. Two more cars starting to make a move are Eric Monaco and Roman Rahal. These two cars, like I said, watch these Reddit Davis cars. They're so good on older tires. Also, Vincent Allen's really worked his way up the order as well. He's at P9 after being the lowest starting silver speed. I believe he's actually the highest running silver speed now after just 30 laps. So we saw that car nearly win the American 700 last year. It was redesigned for a new chassis model. However, we are starting to see that that car is going to do some pretty special things, I think, today. As Grayson Ace Vito, Moshe Gurian, Sean Angel, John Arndt, all these drivers are really just starting. Like I said, it's just a real big, I think everybody's realizing that this is an endurance race now. And it's not going to turn into a sprint until lap 100 anyway, if we only go to lap 175. So I think everybody's just waiting on the rain, really. Ike Durbin has caught the back end of Matty Myatt there as Trek Tauger's gotten by the 25 car for 3rd. It's just all a big game of just manage your tires right now. And like I said, I don't think anybody, it looks like Roush has really fallen off the pace here. I think he's burned a lot of his tires up here. So Roush is just holding on until the pit stop cycle. Then you've got 3 Reddit Davis cars and the pole sitter Dorn and Bouchard really working together here, trying to work their way up the grid, up the order as well. However, it's just a pretty normal start to this race right here. Race leader of the car number 1 in the 62 have already pitted. Halleck has pitted a lap early again. Tauger and Roush are staying out. Why is Roush staying out? Roush is one of the slowest cars out there right now. And Roush is staying out. Tauger is going to take over the lead of the race. Bouchard I would expect to stay out as well, unless they fix Bouchard. No, Bouchard's staying out. A bunch of other cars are also coming down pit road. Some of the tail enders are. Tauger, Roush, and Monaco are all going to just start. They're going to be under the pole here. We saw that. Oh, Bouchard staying out another. Oh, I don't like this strategy by Bouchard at all. It's a risky strategy to stay out there longer. He's banking on a yellow is what he's doing now. But see, it's not really going to matter because if it goes red, I know what they're doing. They're banking that they're going to make it to 175 before the rain hits. That's what they're doing. Now, I understand why Roman Rahal's out there, because this car's actually not that slow, as there's the 1 coming out. Where's the 60 in comparison to the 1? Let's see. That's 59 by mistake. Remember, he was a long way down the order here because of pit stop strategy. However, he's pitting a lap earlier than everybody, and that should be able to put him up the order pretty far, unless if the 60 had an issue. And now you got a couple other cars on pit road as well. Some of these really late drivers on pit road. Halleck, I'm not sure where Halleck is going to... Halleck's not doing very well, so that strategy might not be working for him either. But Myatt's got a huge lead over Durbin and Arndt. Arndt now gained... Oh, I'm sorry, John Arndt was a lap down. He stayed out another lap. Johan Arndt's now in 3rd. So it was to Arndt. And then Tauger's in 4th. I don't not like what John Arndt's doing. This is a really late strategy. However, he is going to be able to go a lot further than everybody else on tires and be faster at the end of a run. But looking at all the positions that Bouchard has lost, Bouchard and Rahal have lost by staying out. They're all the way battling down in like the 20s. So it just shows kind of, oh, looks like Padcar's going to have to try and pit. Oh, he's slow on track, and he doesn't get to pits. Oh, okay, that was a bit shaky there for Padcar. It looks like he actually got a little bit of rear end damage, but I'm not sure about that. Ike Durbin running P number 2, and last year's American 700 winner is trying to catch Madeline Myatt, and oh, he's got a problem. Oh, the 62's breaking down. It looks like maybe a tire going out for him. That is not good for Ike Durbin, as Durbin is going to... I guess fall out of... Oh, that might be Terminal, actually. He might be the first car out. Look how slow he's going. He's going to need a tow back, and that could put him out of the American 700 win chance right there. Oh, there's John Arndt coming out of the pits. Just shows how much time John Arndt lost by staying out. Silver Speed has not played this race very well for their drivers, because Becca Moss... Nick Pericles, they're all flirting with the 30s, and now Arndt's down there as well. Oh, Halleck's got a problem, it looks like. So that's going to eliminate Halleck, and Eddie Champadkar finally makes it to pit road. Maddie Myatt now has lapped Talia Wallish and a couple other cars up here. Benjamin Dover is going to get lapped. Second place actually now is their teammate, Trek Tauger, with Johan Arndt in 3rd. Long way back to 4th with Scott Roush, Chris Dodd, Eric Monaco, Grayson Ace Vito, and Vincent Allen, the only Silver Speed car that isn't flirting around 30th position. The 62 would rejoin the race. It was a small issue that they fixed. However, yeah, I don't think he's going to be finishing this race, especially if the rain hits before the 175 mark comes. Myatt has a 3-second lead back to Trek Tauger and Johan Arndt. Arndt is closing in on Tauger, though, and Tauger is closing in on the leader. So it is still a competitive race. However, it looks like we know who the dominant car so far of the race has been, and that's car number 1. She has just been fantastic there, Maddie has, and I'm willing to see if I'm willing to bet that she could be a threat for this American 700 crown. Chris Dodd has really worked his way up the field from starting way back down in the lower 20s. He's up to 6th in this race as we hit the 100-mile mark in this race. So, or next lap we're actually going to hit the 100-mile mark. And Chris Dodd is really showing what he's made of right now. He's persevered through a lot of through a bad qualifying position, and his car hasn't been that fast all weekend. And right now, Chris Dodd is looking pretty strong. Jack Halleck's a couple laps down, actually. Maddie Myatt led at the 100-mile mark, by the way. However, this is important. Halleck is flirting with that 2-lap down mark. He is going to have to hold on for dear life if this race goes to the level it is. And it looks like Maddie Myatt's going to let him go because right now she's pitting. and she has better tires than him. Tauger stays out, so Tauger's going to lead the race. Arndt's coming in as well. Here comes Roush with Eric Monaco as well. The pit stop strategy is really going to rear its head today. No cautions yet in the first 50 laps. We've seen this before with the American 700, where cautions can sometimes take a while to come out. And right there, you can just briefly see how much quicker Ike Durbin was, who's on newer tires, over Vincent Allen, who stayed out. Here comes the one out of the pits. And it's just, like I said, I gotta keep reiterating this. It seems like everybody's in cruise control right now. It's been a very calm start to the race, actually, where a lot of people are just really just going to try and, oh, Johan Arndt, watch out on the 51 there. That was a close call. Arndt's got a lot better tires than these two. And then the 51 in Bouchard. And Arndt's fighting for the lead here, trying to at least keep up in the lead. There's Eric Monaco as well. And the one has just a massive lead right now over, well, not technically a lead. Bouchard's the leader. However, Johan Arndt isn't doing anything to go by them either. And that actually is going to help out somebody like Eric Monaco, who actually didn't lose all that much, as the 9's coming down pit road as well. So the last thing anybody really wanted to see was a caution, and that's glad we haven't seen one yet. Matty Myatt's coming to lap Ike Durbin again here, and Ike Durbin is definitely down a cylinder. His car doesn't sound that healthy. However, he is still faster. One cylinder is still fast. Down one cylinder is still faster than some of these cars here. And here we go again. Halleck is going to, I think, go a third lap down. No, he's only going a second lap down. So it just shows Halleck's strategy might actually work for him if he gets to the end. Bouchard stayed out later than everybody else. However, Madeline Myatt's long gone, already passed him for the lead. Actually, Bouchard could be under threat of going a lap down here if he's not careful. Stan Thaber could be under threat to go a lap down here, but like I said, everybody's basically in cruise control waiting to see what's going to happen with this race. First caution of the race would be a debris yellow, though, and this would be on lap, this is, I think, basically to reorder the field, basically, as well. Oh, nope, actually looks like Gurian caught the wall, and that's what caused it. Moshe Gurian catches the wall, and, well, I think everybody should be able to continue. Gurian's going to be under threat, though, of seeing if he can make it to without going a couple laps down. However, rain isn't that far out here, and Madeline Myatt's really going to have to... This is going to definitely slow the pace down, because we were actually looking at possibly making it all the way to 175 before the rain. However, rain is really picking up speed getting here. Under yellow, James Shelley would grenade the motor and be the first car to fall out of the American 700. Tough break for Shelley. That was not a good thing for him right there. Tough break for him, because he is a former winner, and he was really happy to make the race. Trek Tauger would actually beat his teammate out of the pits to take over the lead of the race. So, with the first caution being for Gurian catching the wall, it's going to be interesting now that you've got everybody basically on the same tire strategy because everybody pitted. Now, there are a couple of cars that need to worry here. Halleck needs to worry not to go another lap down by the rain. And the other car that needs to worry, I think, was maybe DJ Curtis. Ike Durbin needs to get 2 laps back. He isn't going to do that, I don't think. And we are going to go back green flag, and away we go. Look at Kenny Myatt all the way up the order. He started down in 41st, and he's up in fighting for the top 10. He's in the top 10 now, and Tauger leads this race over his teammate Madeline Myatt. Third is Roman Rahal. Fourth is a battle between Roush and Freeze. Freeze is all over the place trying to keep his car under control. So everybody's back on the same tire strategy here as Padcar is trying to hold his position here. Padcar was the other one that needs to watch out going another lap down here. He can go this lap down, however, one more would be a bad thing for him, as Tauger leads the lap. More damage was done to Moshe Gurian's car as he is down a cylinder as well. Gurian's just going to have to make it to the point where the yellow comes out, and then maybe he can get that kill. They are allowed to work on the car a bit there. Cosmetic damage can be fixed. However, I'm not sure if they'll let him go underneath the hood to fix that car. So Gurian's just going to hold on, I think, till the rain gets here. Battle for the lead heating up between car number 1 and car number 31. As you're starting to see some other cars like Roman Rahal and, well, DJ Curtis is a lap down, as is the 8 car. But these cars, now new leader, car number 1 retakes the lead here as, wow, it looks like the 25 car is really going to use Curtis as a drafting partner to get up the order here. As this is just what we're seeing, is just you've got to really manage your tires in a way that on these restarts you've got to really pounce, as now it looks like the 31 is trying to get a spot back, which is a very interesting battle between the two Zeos Honda cars. I'm wondering if Zeos is going to tell their drivers to hold station and just wait for another pit stop strategy. It doesn't look like it, though, as Tauger's going for the lead again. So this is what we're talking about. You just got to be really, those two are even cars, and just all about who can manage their tires. I think right now those two are playing with each other, really, on the track. And actually, Curtis is going to try and get his lap back on the track, as the third Zeos Honda is actually running P8, so great to see Grayson Ace Vito also up there. Great day for Zeos Honda so far. The one car, however, would hold the lead over Tauger, as Tauger would get forced to the high line eventually. A little over-under there, and now car number 1 would retake the lead back. It seems like the 1 is the dominant car. The 1 and the 31 are the dominant cars of the day. I gotta say, I'm really surprised at how slow Nick Pericles has been in this race. That car really doesn't look like he's handling it very well, and he has just been struggling since the start of this. However, he could be sandbagging. That could be a case. He just set his fastest lap of the race, which was a 36.7, which is nowhere near the fastest lap of this race. Driver on the move now is car number 9, a Kenny Myatt. He's working his way up the order at a very high rate of speed. Here comes Chris Dodd, the second place man. Now, Dodd is really quick here and actually is looking to maybe take over the lead of this race. So we're starting to see some new players in this race here, and this could be something interesting to watch as it goes on, because rain is not far, to say the least. And now he's going to get by the lap car of Curtis. And Curtis is now 2 laps down, by the way. And now the 1 is in his sights. Another car that so far has been underperforming has been the 6 car of Aiden Shepard. Shepard, I think, needs to get further up the grid, to be honest with you. He has been pretty lackluster in this race so far. He's had a great start to the season, however, hasn't been a great continuation of this season so far. I was mentioning how Silver Speed was vastly underperforming. Well, now John Art's up to 11th. Becca Moss is in 22nd, so she's worked her way up the grid a bit. Actually, Vincent Allen hasn't played the pit strategy card right, and is now down in 21st. So it's all depending on where you're pitting and how you're pitting. Battle for the leads heating up between car number 1 and car number 41. These two drivers were teammates last year at BFM, and now it looks like Chris Dodd, who's struggled all weekend, is now going to try and take over the lead of this race here. And as he dives for it, he will get the lead of the race. So Chris Dodd leads the American 700 now, and looks like he is now the dominant car of the day. His BFM teammate, Sean Angel's now working his way up the order, up into P3, that is. So Sean Angel has been really working his way up the order. Maybe they're tweaking these cars, because we know that the 9's quicker now. The 9's a sister car to those cars. They're not teammates, but they're sister cars. And the 18's actually looking a lot quicker as well. So where's the 51 is my question now. The 51 is back in 14th, so maybe the Lexus Toyota group is able to get their cars running to the point where they can actually compete in this race. Oh, crash in the back, I saw! Crash in the back! I see Aiden Shepard. A couple cars took to pit road, it looks like. Aiden Shepard, Zolt Dormitory. That's going to save Gurian there. But the yellow flag flies in the American 700 for the first real crash of the race. I know Gurian backed it into the wall. Second crash of the race, because Gurian backed it into the wall. We didn't catch it on camera, though. However, Dodd leads the field back down to the caution, and Madeline Myatt will be there as well. We're going to take a look and see what happened. Looked like the 48 was trying to get on pit road here, and it kind of stacked everybody up. The 48's just struggling there, and now he hits the 17, which forces Dormitory into the wall. Dormitory's coming off the wall, and Benjamin Dover hits him, and then the 6 really hits him. Around he goes. What an avoidance by Nick Pericles there. He maybe caught the wall, but that was a great avoidance there. Really only 2 cars received damage, and Aiden Shepard's American 700's gone from bad to an absolute disaster. Sean Perkins would retire, and actually this was a big outdate as well. I believe I saw Scott Roush with a lot of damage on pit road. Perkins and Roush made contact on pit road, and that's going to take out the 3-time American 700 champion, and Scott Roush is going to be massively damaged. Perkins is done. We know Perkins is done. However, Roush is going to need to pretty much soldier home by the time the rain gets here. Chris Dodd will lead on the restart as we take off here on lap 80. And like I said, rain's approaching, and that's going to be pretty interesting for this race. As there's Madeline Myatt in second. What's Roush going to do? Roush is up on the high line. He doesn't look that slow yet. However, it's a lot harder to tell considering that they're actually letting out of the throttle entering the corners now. And it looks like Roush might be able to make it to the caution period. We're actually seeing Gurian might make it too, because Gurian, I don't think he even has lost a lap, as now we got a battle for the lead between the 1 and the 41 again. And I believe the 1's going to lead the lap here. Madeline Myatt back to the lead of the race. Here comes Bobby Jones in third, and that's going to be a third place for him. However, by lap 84, the rain would get here, and that would bring out the caution and the red flag, as a couple of cars were actually pitting. That is Vincent Allen were pitting there as well, so the race is in limbo now, as the 1 car is coming back to take the caution flag here for rain. And it is raining off in turn number 3. So, or down the backstretch actually. So now we are under a caution flag. So at this stage, it is Madeline Myatt, Chris Dodd, Bobby Jones, Kenny Myatt, John Arndt, Trek Tauger, Noah Hart, Roman Rahal, Vince Freeze, Zayden Davidson, Grayson Ace Vito, Jake Baskinger, Fitzwater, Allen, Monaco, Arndt, Brock, Caldwell, Bouchard, Angel, Griffin, Moss, Pericles, Bichelia, Gurian, Roush, Vincent Allen, Vanderpesh, Shallrot, Dover, Thaber, Dunbar, Walsh, Dormitory, Curtis, Padcar, Lamas, Halleck, and that's it that will be restarting. So Ike Durbin, Sean Perkins, Aiden Shepard, and James Shelley will all not be in whenever this race restarts. However, it's going to be a while, I believe, because it's raining pretty hard right now, and since it's red flag, they're going to move all the cars onto the pit road and just tarp them.